Do you know what really sucks? Is sitting down to edit your project and realizing that you have gaps in your coverage or shots missing. You need to have a really good, specific, and detailed shot list. Head over to filmmakersecrets.com/shotlist, SHOTLIST, to get a killer shot list template along with some training where I show you step by step exactly how to use it. Something magical happens, and perhaps it's a happy mistake, but it is so intentional that you decide to keep that quote-unquote mistake, and it actually serves the story. Filmmakers have the power to evoke emotion, inspire thought, and drive universal change in this world. Right now, a real seismic shift is happening in the film industry. This is your best chance to join a new filmmaking movement. You have been called to create an everlasting impact with your unmatched, deep desire to tell authentic stories. So how does a filmmaker thrive in an environment that is almost intentionally designed to bring you down? That is the question, and this podcast reveals the answer. What's happening, filmmakers? It's George VK. Welcome to Filmmaker Secrets podcast, episode number 18. Thank you so much for waiting. I'm a little late on releasing this episode because life happens, and I don't like to say that it gets in the way because life is happening to you. It doesn't get in the way of you. And that kind of brings me to the topic that I want to talk about today, which is changing your framing, your outlook on the way that you interact with people. And it has to do with saying sorry. And I think this probably pertains a little more to my female filmmakers out there that are constantly catching themselves saying sorry. I'm sure that guys do it too, but I've noticed it a lot more in women. I don't know why, but it's all about changing the framing that you go into an interaction, whether that be a meeting or a film set or a lunch with a friend. If you're late, for example, instead of saying, sorry, I'm late, change your interaction in the way that you pre-frame it by saying, thank you for waiting for me, or thank you for being patient. Thank you for your patience. You're changing the negative connotation from I'm sorry. You're taking that attention away from yourself and giving the other person that you are apologizing to a compliment. You're saying to them, thank you for waiting. Thank you for being patient, because that completely changes the interaction, right? You completely change the tone and the energy of the room by saying thank you. You're giving them a compliment, and it's a positive interaction. So you change that pre-frame from this negative attention on you into something that's positive and productive. And that also relates to etiquette on a film set, or setiquette, as I like to call it. And this originally came from a feature film called Hipster the Musical that I shot with my good friend Adam Blair, St. John Jones, a lot of really talented people involved in that film. But we started having production meetings about the etiquette that you should have on set, with the processes, with the hierarchy of all the roles on a film set, and just the general way that you should behave, who's in charge. And we kind of combined the word set with etiquette, and so was born this amazing term, setiquette. And, there are a lot of moving parts on a film set. There's a lot happening all at the same time. And if you do your job right in pre-production and with your production meetings to pre-frame the way that you want your set to run, it's going to make things that much smoother, that much easier for you in the long run. So who is the ultimate person driving the ship, so to say, on a film set? Well, some people would say the director. Some people would say the producer. I tend to believe in the strong power of the first assistant director having the ultimate control on a film set. The first AD is the one that's going to drive the ship, because they are running the schedule, they are running the shots, they are running the process, the whole process of the film, no matter what kind of project that you're working on, whether it's a commercial, feature film, a documentary, a silly little web series, or any other segment of the filmmaking world. The ultimate person that should take control is your first AD. And on that vein, get yourself a really good first AD, somebody that can really take charge. When I spoke with Nate Bakke, if you heard that episode, he spoke of the importance of having a good AD on set, because he, as the director on the feature film Man Camp, didn't really have to worry about the schedule when the set was actually running. He felt like he could just focus on the performances of the talent, and all of the scheduling and the process of moving the set forward, getting the shots done, was really taken off of his plate because he had a really good first assistant director. And that is so vitally important to the whole filmmaking process, because you, as the director, if that's your role, need to focus on the performance. Because if you, as the director, are focused too much on the process, on getting the shots done, on making sure that you're on schedule and that you're making your day, then the performance will fall flat. It's almost a completely different set of skills that the first AD has to have from the director. It's a little bit less creative in the sense of contributing to the creative part of the project, but it is something that will absolutely help you in the long run, because you will be able to meet your schedule in the most productive and effective way, to where the morale on set will be kept up, the energy will maintain high, so that your actors can feed off of that energy. You know, a lot of times actors talk about, especially ones that have had experience in theater, that immediate reaction, that immediate feedback that you get from an audience when you're on stage, live, performing, not having the ability to do multiple takes to say, cut, 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 let's do it over again. You just have to go. With a film set, the actors don't get that luxury of the immediate feedback from an audience, besides the perhaps director cracking up at a certain type of performance or something that is touching that happens in a scene that wasn't planned, and it has an effect on the whole crew and everybody feels it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Have you had that happen to you before, where something magical happens and perhaps it's a happy mistake, but it is so intentional once you get into post-production that you decide to keep that quote-unquote mistake, and it actually serves the story? So if you are able to take that responsibility of keeping on schedule, making sure all your shots that are necessary are taken care of, then you can focus your energy more so on the performance and getting the most out of an actor possible. Every director will have a different process, a different way of doing things, but the idea of having a first AD is universal, because it definitely serves a very beneficial purpose on set in terms of running a smooth film shoot. So remember, stop saying sorry. Take that word out of your vocabulary. I mean, obviously, you need to have humility, and you need to know when you have done wrong and own up to your mistakes, but perhaps just change it up a little bit. Change up the framing so that you turn the negative "I'm sorry" into something more positive, like "thank you." You're complimenting that other person. Thank you for waiting for me. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for giving that feedback that is going to make this project ultimately better. So with that, thank you for waiting for this episode. I appreciate you listening. It really means a lot to me. Please go rate, subscribe, give me a 5-star review if you feel like it is worthy and deserving. Thank you for listening, and I'll catch you on the next one. If you like that, then you are going to love my Cine Racing Challenge. This is a 7-day filmmaking competition where your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to write
shoot, and edit a short 60-second film in just 7 days for your one chance to win with over $10,000 in prizes. So head over to cineracing.com. That's cineracing.com to get registered. Spots are filling up fast and the timer is ticking before the next Cine Racing Challenge launches. So be sure to head over to cineracing.com right now to get registered. I'll see you over there.